Ladies and people who love pink beanies, Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. We're going to have a little casual chat today. I just went and had a really mind-blowing coaching or counseling session with a guy named Mark Goody from A Conscious State. So this is their website, A Conscious State. This lovely gentleman here, Mark, we had a coaching session today, and I went to see him to talk about some of my stress around money, some of my anxiety around money. And it ended up taking this really interesting turn that I didn't expect. I thought we were just going to sit there and, go through some holistic healing and stuff like that. We ended up taking a deep dive on my business. And now Mark, this coach that I paid has coached a lot of people and worked through with a lot of people on how to take their business from, $1 million to $5 million and stuff like that. So he knows his shit. And it was very clear talking to him that he did know his stuff. And so we went on this deep dive on my business and my plans for the future and this coaching and the channel and all of that to work through some of my stress around money. And I learned a hell of a lot. He gave me some amazingly valuable insights. And you guys know that I love honesty. I love openness. I try and share with you guys and tell you like what I'm working on and what we're doing and the plans for, coaching and the business and all of that. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun in this video, have a little casual chat, and I will talk through, what I talk through with Mark and also some of the plans for the business over the next year or two. So for full context, I've mentioned this before. We've done videos on my channel, Imogen and I, where we've talked about some of the stress that we have around paying the bills and all of that kind of stuff. And things are a hell of a lot better now since some of those older videos. But there's still a fair bit of like tax debt for us to pay off. At this point, we have about $100,000. That's in Australian dollars. So that would be 60,000 US dollars of tax debt left to pay off. And we're slowly chipping away at that. But basically, I went to Mark, for this coaching session because I want to be able to let that shit go. I want to be able to just sit here in front of you guys and girls and just be able to focus on helping you and not stress so much about like, well, I can't pay the bills. I can't do any of this. So I sat down with Mark. We had this amazing chat. And as soon as the call was over, I pulled out my phone and I just started writing down as much as I possibly could from memory, from the things that we talked about. So I'll kind of just run through these in no particular order. Here's what I basically scribbled down. The biggest insight that he gave me was I need to earn more money, or I want to earn more money for my health and for Imogen's health and for Cam, who, I'm paying as a coach in my program for his health, but making money is for health. Now, I'm someone that's for a long time had a hell of a lot of guilt around money, and maybe a lot of you will be able to relate to that. I was always sort of the poor kid, not that my parents didn't have money, and not that we grew up in poverty, but my entire life I've had debt of some kind. There's been periods where I haven't, sure, but for the most part, I've either not really had much in savings or I've had, 20 grand in tax debt or a credit card debt or this kind of debt or university debt and all of that kind of stuff. And so I think I've always had this like limiting belief that I'm supposed to be poor or that I'm not allowed to be rich. And as the business and as coaching and stuff like that has started to excel over the last year, I've held back a lot and I've self-sabotaged, which is something that I see in a lot of my coaching clients, and I talk you guys out of that. But it's something that I've definitely struggled with myself is like, I will have months where we go crazy. You guys know I did that video where we talked about how we earned 80,000 US dollars in a month and we had this amazing freaking month. And then for the next 3 months after that, I'll almost feel like guilty around the amount of money that I've just earned, as if I somehow didn't deserve it, which is just a weird concept in the first place. But I'll feel like that was too much money. And then I'll chill out for the next 3, sometimes even, like 5 months in a row, where I'll put no effort in. So I won't do as much content. I won't give as much value in the content when I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I'll still try hard with the coaching, but like, it's like I'm holding back a little bit out of some sense of guilt or like, okay, that was too much money. I can't bring on more people. And I've talked about this in the past. Another reason why I was doing that was because I was doing so many one-on-one coaching calls. And so I didn't want more coaching clients to come in when I was already working with like 7 guys at once, having these long, epic 3-hour coaching calls. That was a lot on my plate already, on top of doing content, on top of doing everything else. And so I did hold back a lot. And so that's one thing that we've changed over the last 6 months is I don't really do one-on-one coaching calls anymore. I do take on some of those, 30-minute calls with some of you, but I'm going to transition, or I'm in the process of transitioning to getting Cam to take over those. So I won't be doing those. So yeah, just much less one-on-one has definitely helped. But yeah, I've always had this sense of guilt around earning like too much money, whatever that might be. And in this call today, or it wasn't a call, sorry, it was an in-person meeting. In this meeting today with Mark, this counseling session, he just really hit me really hard, saying, look, this is about your health. This is about your girlfriend's health. Like, this is about the people that you care about and their health. Take the guilt out of the equation. This is about your health. Right now, you're anxious. Right now, you're not sleeping fantastically all the time. Right now, you have all these stresses around money. You feel this constant pressure to always be on, to always be doing content, to always be trying to help people, to always being, trying to give value so that you can bring more people in so you can pay the bills. You're never getting a chance to actually switch off and relax. And it's true. I do feel this intense fucking pressure to always be doing shit to bring in more people. And so he said, if for nothing else than your own fucking mental health and your own health, he didn't actually swear, I added that bit in. If for nothing else other than your mental health, you want to earn money so that you can actually chill. And he gave me a figure. He said, what if you were currently earning like double what you're currently earning? How would you feel? How would things be different? How would the stress leave you? And I just visibly relaxed at even thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, if I was earning like double what we're currently earning, which would be about $30,000 a month. If I was earning $30,000 a month, holy shit, I'd feel rich. I'd just chill the fuck out. I'd probably go sit on the beach and I'd have so much more love and gratitude to give to, you guys, to give to my coaching clients. God damn it, that would be amazing. And then he said, don't you think like you deserve that? Don't you think that that's the goal to go for? Don't you think you better help your clients more if you're in that frame of mind, if you have more love to give? And so that was probably the biggest takeaway, was like, this isn't about deserving or guilt or like earning too much money. This is about your goddamn health. And right now, yeah, I'm not in a healthy state of mind most of the time because I'm thinking about hustling. I'm thinking about doing more, giving more value, all of that kind of stuff. So that was such a beautiful turnaround in my mind. I was like, man, like, I miss the days when I could relax. At the start of all of this, when I didn't really need the money, when I was already working a full-time job, my God, was I fucking relaxed. And that just really hasn't been the case for the last year or two. I've had a few moments of relaxation. I've had quite a few moments of love and peace and all of that. And I do try and take out the word try. I meditate every day. I relax every day. And I do that stuff. But man, to be able to just chill out for the entire day is something that my brain can't even fathom right now, because it just feels like we've been grinding for the last couple of years, and we have. And so, yeah, like if nothing else, this coaching session with Mark was a beautiful reminder of how life used to be, where I could chill and not sacrificing short-term happiness. What's a better way of saying that? Not suffering on the quest to reach these goals. I think that was something that he definitely got across to me, is like, you don't have to suffer to reach this goal. It's obviously something I tell you guys a lot, but it's something that I've struggled with money myself. So again, that emphasizes what I'm always saying. You don't have to be perfect with this stuff. I'm not fucking perfect. Sometimes I'm even not perfect with taking my own advice. That's okay. We're all shitty, flawed human beings. We're all trying to do our best. So another insight that he gave me was, it is not selfish to earn more money. The more that you earn, especially like if you're doing what I'm doing, which is literally coaching people, the more you can coach other people on how to earn more money themselves. And he really drilled it into me by saying, think about the stress that you're going through and the constant feeling of needing to be on and all of that. And maybe let's pause for a second here and make something very clear. I do this shit because I want to. I'm not sitting here trying to be a victim and saying, oh man, this is so much stress. I fucking love doing this shit. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. So I'll make that clear. But, he said, think of the stress and the pressure that you're feeling. Imagine if you got to save someone from that pressure. Imagine if there's someone who's in your position right now, feeling all that stress and pressure, and you got to kind of pick them up and scoop them up and take them out of that and elevate them. And I go, oh my God, yeah, that's my mission. And he goes, well, then don't you think you deserve to earn more money? Don't you think you should earn more money? Isn't it selfish not to earn more money? Because you could be helping that person. Some person is going through hell right now. You could step in and say, hey, I got you. I can solve this problem for you. Try this, try this, try that. And right now you're not coaching them because as I said to him, I hold back a fair bit on coaching you guys with making money in particular. I have worked with, at this point, Cam and I sat down and added it up about an hour ago. We've coached 8 guys with how to make more money. And so we definitely can do it. We've got testimonials. Probably the best example is Laz, who we took from, I think it was like $20,000 to $45,000 within like a month or two. So he was earning that every single month. So he went from 20 grand a month to 45 grand a month. And we did that in our coaching. So we definitely can help people. But I've held back a lot in doing that because, I mean, there's a million different reasons. I just haven't really given myself permission to do more of that content. And Cam has been very forthcoming and said to me a million times in the last 6 months, the last year, dude, do more content on business. You have so much to teach people. You definitely can help people. Yes, you don't have to be the world-class expert on money, which is why I've held back, because I've said, well, I'm not rich yet, so I can't coach people. And as he said, and as Mark said, it's not about being like fucking rich in order for you to help people. It's just, have you earned a certain amount of money? Like, have I, Andy? Yes. Okay, then help other people do the same thing. Get in there and fucking help them earn more money. So it's definitely something that I've held back a lot on. And so the mission and one of the changes that I'm going to make is I'm going to do much more like business content. That was sort of what Mark suggested. He said, if you can focus more on the business side of things, like as in coaching people on how to run their business or how to build a business or how to start a business or how to earn more money and all of that kind of stuff, content around money and business, that shit is like far easier to bring people in. Like, if you think about the vast majority of the coaching that I do right now, I would say 25% of it is guys that want to improve their sex life or their dating life. I would say 15% is people who want to improve their relationship. I would say 30% is people who want to improve their mental health and be happy and goals and all of that kind of stuff. And then the rest of the percentage is people who want business advice, people who want to lose weight, people who are super depressed and want to fix it, just all the other goals. And I think I've sort of like held back a little bit on opening up much more advice and content and coaching on money because, like I said, I've just held back for various different reasons. It almost doesn't even matter what the reasons are, does it? But, one of the suggestions, as I said, is he's been saying, or he suggested, do more content around more money or helping people make more money. So moving more in that direction. I'm obviously still going to do all the type of content that you guys and girls know and love. We'll be doing plenty on love, plenty on relationships, plenty on sex, getting your freak on in the bedroom, all that good kind of stuff. We'll be doing losing weight, all that stuff. But I'm giving myself more permission to talk more about business, to talk more about money, to basically say, you know what, like, yes, I'm not the world-class expert on business. I'm not the world-class expert on money, but I've learned a lot. I've been doing this shit for like 4 or 5 years at this point. I have learned a hell of a lot. I've learned a hell of a lot of what not to do. I've learned a hell of a lot of what has worked for me. I just did a video that would have been released yesterday about lessons that I've learned from getting my business to this point. At this point, I'm earning about $15,000. It's about $16,000 US dollars a month on average. And we've had some big months, like I said. We had an $80,000 month, and we've had plenty of smaller months, but that's the average. So I did a video on lessons learned, and I'm just going to open up that side of things more because I didn't finish this thought before, but it's so much easier to get clients who are coming to you to earn more money or to scale their business, because for them, if they come to you for coaching and you take their business from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month, you've just earned them 10 grand a month for every month for the rest of their fucking life. And if you charge 10 or 20 grand for your coaching, in their mind, they're like, holy shit, like you mean I only have to pay you 20 grand and that will pay itself off in the second month? Like, and then for the rest of my life, I will just like, that will keep paying dividends. I've earned more money for the rest of my life. I could potentially earn $1 million, $2 million extra dollars, and I only paid you $20,000 for that information. Holy shit, that's worth it. Like, it's a very clear investment. Do you get what I'm saying? But if people come to me and they say, hey, I'm a virgin and I would like to know how to interact with the opposite sex and lose my virginity, even though for a lot of people that's fucking life-changing, on paper, it's not quite as extremely obvious, if you get what I'm saying. It's a little more intangible. It's still life-changing, but it's not right there on paper. I can't look at that and go, okay, I paid $10,000 or I paid $20,000 and he made me $20,000 extra a month. Okay, that's clearly worth it. It's a little bit more like, okay, I paid him 20 grand and he did get me to lose my virginity and I did have this amazing, fulfilling relationship, but do you get what I mean? I'm pretty sure you guys get what I mean. It's not as like actually tangibly right there. So moving more in this direction of working with businesses or working with guys who want to start a business, I'm going to start with what I've already been doing, which is working with people who want to start a business, or maybe you already have a business and it's earning like 10, 20, 30 grand and you want to double that or triple that. That's the stuff I'm going to start with. And slowly over time, I'm going to, move up and up in that ladder. And Mark sort of suggested the same thing. He said, eventually you work up the courage or you work up the resume, I guess you would say, to be working with bigger businesses, people who are earning 100 grand a month and you're going to take them to 200 grand a month. So slowly working into that, slowly working on that side of content. I'm going to have a ton of fun with that. I have so much to say about money, about giving value. Most of my content around money is going to be about giving value and helping people and doing all of that in an ethical way rather than like trying to get money from people. I'm pretty sure you guys would know that given how I talk about dating and sex, and I talk about it in a giving, in a loving, in a spiritual way rather than just like, hey, let's get sex, let's get laid, so you guys get that. So further things that Mark was able to give me, probably the biggest one was the only thing that'll make some of the stress and anxiety that I have and that Imogen has right now go away is making more money. There's not necessarily some beautiful magical fix. Obviously, you can do the work, you can meditate, you can chill, and I've been doing all of that sort of stuff. But maybe the quickest fix or the most direct fix to solving the anxiety and the stress is just make more money. As I said, he gave me the idea or the test, whatever you want to call it. He basically said, and you can tell I'm fucking tired, can't you? He said, if you were earning, 30 grand a month US, how would you feel? And I was like, oh my God, I would relax so much. And he goes, if you were earning $50,000 US, how would you feel? And I was like, oh my God, I'd probably just go sit on the beach for a week and just, I don't know, cuddle random strangers on the beach, and I'd love the world, and I'd just look up into the sky and be like, thank you. I'd feel incredibly fucking happy and grateful and stress-free. And so he goes, well, there you go. That's like would that not be the solution? Like, earn more money. As I said in the past, I've had like guilt around money, and it's something that I've slowly been letting go of over the last 4 years. But it's probably I would honestly say it's probably been my biggest limiting belief out of everything that I've ever done over the last 15 years. All the losing weight, overcoming depression, leaving, abusive relationships, like going to prison and getting through that. All of that stuff that I've done pales in comparison to the limiting beliefs that I've had around money. It really does. I have incredibly deep, strong feelings of like, I don't deserve money. Like, I'm not good enough for money, whatever you want to, label that. But I've had these limiting beliefs. And so slowly working through these over the last 4 years, and I have worked through and let go of a hell of a lot of them, but there's still quite a bit there. And so it was really nice to be able to sit down with someone who essentially believed in me, and he did. And we'll talk about that in a second. He said some really nice shit, which was really nice to hear. But one of the things that he said is like, just earn more money. Like, you deserve to earn more money. And he talked about some of the figures that he had like charged for people, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do coaching for their businesses and their corporations and stuff. And he's like, look, I was charging this much money. Like, there's not really a limit to how much you can charge. It's just, are you going to give them value? Are you helping them? All of that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was nice to just hear someone say, you're allowed to make more money. In fact, he went further than that and didn't just say you're allowed to. He said, for your own health, like, earn more money. For Imogen's health, earn more money. For your relationship, earn more money. Like, you will both literally be happy and less stressed. Earn more money. Like, you almost owe it to each other. He didn't quite say that, but you almost owe it to each other. And definitely I owe it to you guys. And this is something I've held back on. And maybe I can issue a mini apology. Not that I'm sorry for it, but like, because I've held back, that's meant there's a lot of you that are working a dead-end job that maybe you hate and you would love to be able to quit, but because I've held back due to my own guilt around money, I haven't done content on like how to quit your job, how to quit the 9 to 5, how to start a new business, how to do what I've done, how to get to 15 grand a month on your own, off your own back. Like, I haven't done that content because I've felt weird or guilty around money. And there's plenty of you, and Mark made this point, that are suffering right now that I could be helping, but I'm not because of my own bullshit and limiting beliefs around money. So again, I'm not going to say that I'm sorry necessarily because I've always been doing my best, and it's not like I've intentionally held back on purpose. But yeah, it's just a lot of weirdness around money, and I'm glad for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to work through some of that stress so that I can do what I want to do, which is help you guys make more money. You know, I in the video I did yesterday, I talked about how if I can raise myself up and if I can earn more money, then I will raise everybody else up. Like I want all of you guys and girls to come with me. So that really helped. Other things he said is obviously have more business, and he said corporate clients, and that's something I'll probably work towards. Right now I'm not going to go into the corporate world and, you know, go and coach people. I don't feel like that's what I want to do at this exact moment in time. But that is definitely something that I could see myself working towards. As in, so you'd go into a business, you'd say, hey, you're currently earning $2 million a year. I will take you to $4 million a year and I will charge you 300 grand for that. Right now, at this point in time, I'm not going to do that right now. But he even kind of said you can build up to stuff like that. And who knows if I get to that point, but I definitely want to do the idea of more business clients. So helping people start a business. If you already have a business, maybe you have a side hustle and you're earning $1,000 and we could take you to $10,000 a month. I feel really confident doing that kind of stuff. We already have with, like I said, I think it's about 8 guys at this point in time. So I'm super passionate about that stuff. So just doing more of that kind of stuff. More content similar to that, more content talking about business. So by the way, if there's any questions any of you have about business, I did a video yesterday, which was like an in-depth look at like the last 4 years of how I've gotten to the point that I'm at now, which is, like I said, about 16,000 US dollars a month, relatively consistently, pretty consistently. And so I did a video on that, but if there's any other business or money, or like, even if it's like you want to stay at your job, but you just want more money at your job, that's something I also have a lot of experience in. So pretty much 70% of the jobs that I've ever worked, I have gotten promoted within like 3 to 6 months to like a manager or an assistant manager or something like that. Like that's just been something that I have a lot of experience with. So I did a video a couple of days ago actually talking about some of that. Sorry, it was the yesterday video. It was the video yesterday that I did about how I've gotten my business to 16 grand or 15 grand a month. In that, I talked about how I've gotten promotions and become a manager at most of my jobs. So that's something I can help you with, or, you know, I can do content on that, or you can hit me up for coaching and we'll go through that. But yeah, there's lots of like business stuff that I really want to cover, money stuff that I want to cover, financial abundance, mindset around money. I obviously don't have the most perfect mindset around money, but I have so much to say about mindsets that haven't helped me with money and how I've overcome them and what I've learned. So I'm someone that's still very much on this journey, but I feel like I am far enough along the journey that I can now start helping other people come to at least the point where I'm at. Because I'm sure a lot of you listening would give anything to be earning $15,000 a month. You'd be like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? You earn $15,000 a month from just sitting here recording content and helping people and talking about sex. Like half of my content is just talking about weird sexual fetishes and shit like that. Obviously, I cover way more than that. I cover love and relationships and business and mental health and all of that. But like, I get to just sit here and like Imogen and I did a video a week ago, literally just talking about like BDSM and how to be a dominant and how to, you know, teach someone to be a submissive in a healthy way where you're both having fun and all that shit and different kinks. And it's just a sex video. And I get to just sit here and talk about sex. And I earn 15 grand a month. I'm sure for a lot of you, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, dude, like I would kill for that. So I obviously have quite a lot that I can teach. I just, like I said, have held back a lot out of some weirdness around money and some sort of guilt around money. So yeah, if you have any questions about business or any concerns or anything that you're struggling with, or you want a promotion or any of that, drop a comment and just tell me, and I'll happily do content on this stuff. I really want to start talking more about business. So yeah. Another thing that Mark gave me was, and again, his name is Mark from A Conscious State, this beautiful website here. So you can just go to aconsciousstate.com if you're interested more in him and what they're doing. But another thing that Mark gave me was, and this was really nice to hear. He said, what you're doing is already working. Like, you're obviously doing something really good. Like the fact that people will spend $10,000 on 12 weeks of coaching with you, literally just for personal coaching. Like, you're not doing corporate coaching. You're not getting into a business where they'll pay more. Like, people in businesses pay more, obviously, for coaching. He said, you're just coaching individuals and they're paying you $10,000. They obviously trust you. You've obviously built something. You're obviously doing something really fucking well. Like, something is really, really working here. And that just felt like really nice to hear from a complete stranger, a person who doesn't know what we're doing, doesn't know our community, has never watched any of my content, doesn't fucking know my channel, knows nothing about us. For him to be able to say, what you're doing is obviously working. Look, the evidence is right there. You're earning this much money. You're obviously doing something decent. That was just really nice. And what he said was, what you're doing is obviously working. You just haven't been consistent. And I haven't been. I've talked about that a bunch on this channel, where I will bust my ass, we'll go really hard. We'll have a month where we earn like 50,000 or 80,000, just a big chunk of money. We had a month recently where we earned like 40,000 US dollars. We'll have these big months, and then I'll take my foot off the pedal because I'll go, okay, we've done it. Like, we're good. We had a big month. We hit this high. And I'll almost like ride that high for a little bit too long, and then I'll crash down and have a low month, and we'll earn like $2,000 in that month because basically no one will sign up because I won't do any content. I won't do any coaching. I won't talk about the coaching. I won't get excited. I won't be telling you guys how excited I am to coach you. And so then nobody will sign up because it sounds like I don't want you to sign up because I'm not talking about coaching. I don't seem excited about coaching. And we'll hit that low. And so what he said, something that really stuck with me, is he said, money loves consistency. And that stuck with me because I've heard plenty of other mentors, Alex Hermosi, Dan Henry, plenty of these people who say money loves consistency. I've heard that exact phrasing before. And so that just gelled with me. That stuck with me. And he said, if you can just, rather than trying to hit these like $80,000 months and then having a crappy month, what if you just hit like 20 or 30 grand every single month? What if you just were consistent and you just did that, slowly increase that over time? Wouldn't that take a lot of stress off your plate? Because you wouldn't be having these highs, but then stressing that a low is going to come, and then a high, and then a low, and then a high, and a low. And also those high months take a lot out of you. Like, for me to earn those months where we did have 50 grand or that 80 grand month, that took everything I had, and everything Imogen had too. Like, that took fucking everything. It's not really sustainable. But something like 30 grand, yeah, that's pretty sustainable. We can do that. We can just be consistent, and the income will slowly increase over time. So that felt like a nice validation of some things that I've heard other mentors of mine say. Money loves consistency. So one of the things I'm doing right now is 100 minutes a day times 100 days of just pure content. I've talked about that on this channel. So I'm spending 100 minutes just recording videos for this channel, podcasts for my Spotify, writing articles, stuff like that. And then I'm also spending another 100 minutes a day focused on serving people. So serving you guys, serving my coaching clients, like humbly serving, giving value, all of that stuff. And so you wrap those two things up together, 200 minutes of serving people and giving content. And yeah, that's my consistency, because that's something I've never done in the past either. I will have weeks where I'll just record so much content that I'm then good for the next month or two. Like, I'll build up a buffer of content and I'll slowly drip feed that out over the next month. But I'll then spend the next like 2 weeks doing nothing. Like, I won't record any content. I'll focus. I'm still doing shit. Like, I'll focus on my coaching or something, but I'm just not consistent with the content. And if you look back through the channel, especially on Spotify as well, you'll see that there's long periods of time where I'm just doing like one video a week. And I can do way more than that. I can obviously be way more consistent than that. So part of this 100 minutes times 100 days is building that consistency up and getting it to a point where ideally I'm doing 3 to 5 YouTube videos a week, plus 5 to 7 shorts a week, plus 3 podcasts and maybe an article in there. So somewhere in there, I'll be very happy with that. And we're on track for that. I've started this 100 minutes times 100 days thing. I started it like 10 days ago. Yeah, 100 minutes is a lot of time to bang out content. I can do a hell of a lot of content in 100 minutes. So it's been going really well. Another thing that Mark gave me is I want to do less in my business. This is something a lot of business owners struggle with. Your business is like your baby. It's precious to you. You love it. And then sort of like stepping back from it and letting the business be okay by itself or be okay without you or with less of you is very difficult. It really is, because you've been there for like 4 years, or I've been there for 4 years, and you love it to pieces. You know it inside out. You're usually the best person at the job for most of the roles in your business. Like, I am the best coach. I am the best on coaching calls. I am the best at doing the calls where people see if they want to sign up. I'm the best at my content. I'm the best at writing my emails. Like I am the best at this. It's my fucking business. I've done a lot in it. And so it's a weird process to step back a little bit and hand it off to someone that will maybe do 90% as good a job as you, because your ego is like, fuck, but that little 10%, like you're not doing as good a job as me. And so there's so many mindsets that I have on this that have helped. One that's helped me is like, okay, if one person isn't necessarily going to be able to do as good a job as me, what about two people? Could two people do combined together as good a job as I do by myself? And the answer is almost always yes. Like you're usually not doing the job of like two people. Sometimes you are, but usually you're not. Okay, I'll just get two people to do this then. And so handing off certain parts of the business was absolutely Mark's recommendation. And it is something that I've been doing over the last 6 months, but just really speed running that. So I reached out to her. I had a conversation with Cam, as soon as this call with Mark was over, Cam being my assistant coach. And I said to him, look, man, like, I'd really like you to start taking over some more of the coaching calls. I would like you to take over the closing calls, like the calls that I do with people to see if they want to do coaching. I would like you to take on some of that, and I'll pay you for some of that, obviously. And he's like, yeah, hell yeah, man. I'm down for that shit. So outsourcing a lot more of that stuff and just stepping away from the business, which, as you guys know, I've mentioned it a million times, is my eventual goal. At some point, I will not be doing coaching at all anymore, ever. Like, ever. My main focus and the thing that I'm passionate about and that I love is sitting in front of this dumb little camera and talking to you lovely guys and girls. I love this. I really love this. This is my favorite part of the goddamn day. Sitting in front of this camera or sitting in front of this microphone when I do podcasts and just talking to you and trying to help you and not feeling like I have to be perfect, just sitting down and having a nice chat with you guys and trying to give value. This is what I love. I really love this. And so moving myself away from the coaching or slightly out of the coaching. In other words, off, delegating it, giving it to Cam. And this isn't an official announcement. So this is like a little inside announcement that you guys and girls are getting to hear. We also have two other guys in the coaching who we've basically promoted to like mini coaches. So I won't say much more on that. I will say one of their names because I think most of you would be excited about this, Ed. So Ed is someone that stepped up and, he's a mini coach right now in the coaching program. So if you sign up, you get access to me, plus Cam, plus Ed, plus this other guy, which maybe I'll announce the other guy in the weeks or months to come. But yeah, just like training them up. And I mean, that's awesome for you guys because you guys and girls get 4 coaches right now, which is freaking insane on top of everything else. But slowly building them up and getting them to be, obviously they're not clones of me, but getting them to do the coaching in the style that I do, and they're already all doing that. That's why I promoted all of them, especially Cam. Cam is just so fucking good as a coach. He's really like amazing. And so just giving them more tasks and getting them to answer more of the questions in the coaching group and take on more roles and all of that. So stepping away and doing less of the business, less of the parts of the business that I am maybe less excited about. I still love coaching, I'll make that clear, but I'm nowhere near as excited about that as I am about doing this content. Like, I really love just fucking sitting here and talking to you guys. I also like that this is free. I really like that aspect. I really like that I get to sit here and for free, like, help you. I don't know, that's just like really sexy to me. Whereas like the coaching, as much as I love it, I don't know, I don't seem to love it as much as doing the free content. Like, look at the Tinder guide that I wrote, the 130,000 word, massive, long Tinder guide that I wrote, my magnum opus, like, that's free. I don't know, there's something I really like about free content. I don't know why. Anyway, doesn't matter, but doing more of the stuff that I want, because that will take a lot of the stress off my plate and free me up to do the stuff that I like, which is just sitting here with you guys and hanging out and trying to help you. Another big thing that Mark gave me, which we already knew, and Imogen has talked about this a lot, but Imogen doing less in the business because she can't really handle it anymore. We've talked about that a lot. Like, she and I, we've had this conversation a million times over the last 6 months, but she wants to transition out of the business. You guys know that she was an integral part in building things. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here in this current version. The website wouldn't be what it is. The YouTube channel wouldn't be what it is. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Imogen. So everybody, big clap, big round of applause. Imogen has done amazing things, but she wants to be less involved in the business. It's a lot of stress for her. More to the point, she wants to build her own shit. I asked her a question a couple of months ago. We had a conversation where I said, if the world was to end tomorrow and like you knew that it was ending, how would you feel? And I said, I personally would feel pretty happy. I'd feel pretty fucking satisfied. I'd go, I already did a bunch of stuff in my life that I wasn't supposed to. I've said this before. I was supposed to kill myself on my 30th birthday. I'd made a promise to myself when I was suicidal and depressed for that decade. I said, when I'm 30, I'm going to kill myself. But I'm not allowed to kill myself before 30 because I hated myself so much that I was like, you have to suffer until the day you're 30, and that's when you get to end your life. That's when you get to end your suffering. But you're going to sit here until 30 and you're going to fucking suffer. And so I honestly didn't expect to make my 30th birthday. So it really has felt like everything after 30, which at this point is 6.5 years. I'm 36. Everything after 30 has felt like a bonus. And like all the shit that I've done, like losing weight, ending the maybe not so great abusive relationship, all of that kind of stuff, meeting Imogen, meeting all the wonderful women that I've had amazing fun with and made some amazing memories, coaching all of you, doing this content, getting this YouTube channel to the size it's at now. Like everything I've done, all the friends, like I wasn't supposed to do any of that. It really didn't feel, especially when I was super suicidal and depressed, I couldn't even leave the fucking house, let alone like all the stuff I've done since then. And so I already feel like I've, quote, made it. Does that make sense? I already feel like I'm just playing a game right now. Like I've already done the hard part and this is all just a bonus. This is just a game. This is fun. And yes, I get stressed sometimes. Yes, I get anxious. But if the world was to end tomorrow, I really genuinely would be like, man, I had a good run. And so I asked her that question and she said, if the world was to end tomorrow, no, I would not feel happy. As in she would not feel happy. She said she would feel like there's so many things she didn't achieve. She didn't ever prove herself, so to speak. She said, I did a decent job helping you, Andy, build your business, but I never built anything of my own. I never explored my biggest hobby, which is art. I never really got to pursue my body goals and look the way that I wanted. I never got to love myself the way that I wanted. I would feel like I didn't really do anything. I'd feel like it was a failure to launch. And so we had a big conversation and she actually ended up doing a coaching call with this guy that I'm talking about here, Mark from A Conscious State. She did a coaching call with him and his exact advice, which I fucking love that he told her this advice. He was like, you got to get out of the business. Like, just get out of the business. Like, don't be in the business. Like, you got to do your own shit. This is Andy's business. You've done everything you need to do. You've helped him build it up. He probably doesn't need you anymore, which is true. That doesn't mean I'm not grateful for her, but the business is fine without her at this point. So she's been slowly transitioning away, which has been beautiful. At this point in time, she's mostly just answering emails. And at some point, I don't want to take that on, but I'll see if Cam wants to do it actually, or I'll see if one of the other guys wants to do it. I'll find someone. Maybe I'll get a virtual assistant or something, but I'll find some secretary or some assistant or something. But yeah, her doing less in the business, that's a really good shout from Mark. And she and I have already been saying that and planning that for the last while. It's just putting more fuel on that, like turbocharging that and really getting her out pretty quickly. So yeah, we're already doing that. She's already been spending like 5 or 6 hours a day just painting and doing art, which is what she loves. She's already been in a gallery a couple of times now, which is absolutely amazing. It's really weird walking around a gallery and she would jump in here and say, but it's only a small gallery. Like, still a fucking gallery is what I say to her. It's really weird walking around this gallery and you're seeing all this artwork and then there's my girlfriend's painting and then you're going around, here's another one of my girlfriend's paintings. It's really cool. It's like fucking cool. Maybe I should take a photo. Because the gallery is like just down the road from where we live. Maybe I'll go there and if you guys care, I'll take a selfie of both of us in front of the artwork so you can see and I'll post it on YouTube or something. It's really cool. I think it's really cool, like being in a gallery. So she's doing more of that sort of stuff. Another big insight that Mark gave me was take 2 days off per week. I have taken 1 day off per week every single week for the last, 6 or 7 years. Like that's been religious to me. I don't skip that. Imogen takes a day off as well and we spend that day together. But Mark said, man, you got to transition to having 2 days off a week. Like the amount of work that I'm doing and the amount of like effort that I put in every day to this content and my coaching and all of that. He goes like, man, you got to take 2 days off a week. Like make that a important religious, like you stick to that, you do it, take 2 days off a week. So I'm going to test that out over the next week. I'm actually weirdly nervous about that. Like I'm weirdly nervous. I have all sorts of sense of like guilt of like, oh, I should be more productive, or my clients need me, which is not true. Like everybody can handle themselves for 2 days. Like, but yeah, that I'm gonna transition to doing that. That's something I'm very nervous about, but I'm fully on board. It didn't take him much convincing to convince me of that. As soon as he said, how would you feel if you had 2 days off a week? I was like, oh my God, I would feel amazing. I'd be in heaven. I'd have so much more to give to my clients. I could literally put in more effort, do a better job. He's like, there you go then. Like, there you go. So I probably will still, I'm going to figure out how that fits in with the 100 minutes a day, or really I'm doing 200 minutes a day. I'm going to see how that fits in because I still want to do the 100 minutes a day. So I got two options there. I could either say, you still do 100 days of 100 minutes, or in my case, 200 minutes, but you just extend it for longer. So if you're having 2 days off a week, that just means do it. What would that be? That would be like quick maths. I don't know, 20%. You're taking 20% of the week off. So just extend it 20 weeks. In other words, the 2 days off that you're taking off every week, just make up for those at the end. So instead of maybe 100 days, you do, I don't know, what would that be? 120 days, 130 days, whatever it would be. So that's an option. Maybe I'll do that. So it's still 100 days. It's just not 100 days in a row. It's 100 days with 2 days off a week. Yeah, maybe that's the easiest answer. Because the other option is still do it on those days off, but then that's cheating. It's not really a day off. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll extend it and do it for like 130 days or whatever it would end up being. That's probably a good shout. Thanks everybody for helping me brainstorm that idea. I really appreciate you. It is weird, like on a side tangent, doing content because you are just talking to yourself. Like that is a weird thing, but you guys will listen to it. You're listening to my stream of consciousness, and I clearly haven't written notes or prepared for this podcast. This is obviously just off the cuff, me fucking rambling. It's really weird rambling, and like nobody's there to ramble back. It's like the world's worst brainstorming, like exercise, because there's nobody else to brainstorm with you. You're just brainstorming to a wall. But I love talking to you guys, even if really I'm just talking at you guys. Another big insight that I gave is, and I already said this, stick in your mind like a really nice figure. Right now we have the figure of about 13,000, maybe 12,000 US dollars every month that we need to pay off all the bills and to pay some debt off and all of that kind of stuff. But he said, man, I would double that number. I would be going for, he said, like roughly 30 grand US every month. Because if you were earning 30 grand, how would you feel? And I was like, holy shit, I'd just be like relaxed as hell. Like there would be literally nothing to stress about. Because even if I had a bad month, and this is one of the points that he made, he said, what happens if you have a bad month right now and you don't earn your 15 grand or whatever a month? What happens if it's December and nobody signs up? And then I go, fuck, well then the next month I have to earn 30 grand. And he's like, yeah, so you want to be aiming for double what you actually need, so that if you ever do have a month where you earned nothing, you'd be fine, because every other month before that, you've earned double what you actually needed. And so he said, you want to have like a nice little, what do you call it? What's it called? It's not like a golden egg, but you know what I mean? Like a little egg in the corner, a savings account, essentially. You want nest egg. That's what I'm trying to say. You want to have a nice little nest egg in the corner, 50 or 100 grand saved up just in case there's an emergency, or in case you break your leg or something, or you, I don't know, get into a coma or something and you have no money for a couple of months. Like just some sort of like little safety net. And right now we don't have that at all. I think we've got like 20 grand saved up as a safety net, but we owe, like I said, about 100 grand in tax. So we technically have negative 80 grand, but yeah, just earning double the amount that you think you need so that it doesn't have to feel so stressful, especially with the nature of this business, which is obviously, it's not unreliable income, but it's not consistent income. That's the way I'd phrase it. I have to put in a fair chunk of effort to bring on the next couple of coaching clients. I have to do these videos. I have to talk about coaching. I have to do a decent value proposition and tell you how it's worth it and all of that kind of stuff. It's not like, or we're not quite yet at the point where it's self-sustaining. Maybe a year from now we will be. Maybe the channel and the podcast and all of that will be big enough that I don't have to try as hard to bring in new clients. And this is an exercise that I like to do to help myself relax. I'll say, man, if the channel was 10 times the size that it is right now, it goes without saying that would probably translate into 10 times as many coaching clients. wow, I'd really be able to relax. Like I'd have abundance. I wouldn't have to try as hard to bring in new people. I wouldn't have to talk about coaching as much. Like people would be knocking down the door because you just have a bigger audience. You just have more people. And so with that same sort of mindset, or like seeing how that would help you relax, in the meantime, because that might take a little while, can I just earn double what we're currently earning so I can get that same level of abundance? So yeah, that was a big thing. And tied into that, and this is something that I'm going to do, I won't say it's my top priority right this second, but I am slowly doing it in the background. He suggested, and plenty of you have said this, and I've said this to myself a billion times, and Imogen has said this, and Cam has said this, and we all know this, but having more passive income products that I could sell either to current coaching clients, or like when they finish, I could say, hey, I also have this ebook. Do you want to buy this? And also like new people. So, something like a $5 ebook or a $50 ebook or a, $200 or $1,000 course or whatever, like just something else. And I already have one product, but it's really niche. And it's not something that the vast majority of human beings are ever going to buy. It's so unbelievably niche. It is, of course, my how to have a threesome guide. But like, think about how freaking niche that is. Like the vast majority of human beings aren't going, oh, gee, I'd love to have a threesome. And so that's like the one passive income like product that I have at this point in time. And even then, I still sell some of them. I still sell at least one a month, every month. And it's at this point valued at $250. So with that one weird niche sex book that the vast majority of human beings are not ever going to care about, and I can't even really advertise it because I can't link to it on YouTube because I'm not allowed to because it's sex. I can't even tell you the website for it because it's against YouTube's terms and conditions to sell something that's a sex book. I've already gotten a warning because I tried to in the past where I had a link to it. YouTube was like, well, warning, no, this is your first warning. You can't do this. So I can't even advertise it other than on my own blog where I can write whatever I want. So it's barely even talked about. I barely even talk about it. Most of you won't even know that I have that. And by the way, in the comments, please don't ask where you can get it. Just go to my website and then you'll be able to find it. But don't ask where you can get it because if someone gives you the link, they will get a warning from YouTube. So yeah, it's something that I literally can't even advertise. And we're already earning $250 from that pretty much every month. So imagine if I had a product that had a bigger appeal, like how to meet women, how to work on your motivation, how to be a more enlightened human being, how to find love in your relationships, like something that has mass appeal to the vast majority of human beings on the planet. Yeah, I could absolutely be bringing in more passive income. And as Mark said, man, imagine if you were just getting $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month from passive income. Like imagine you made 5 books or 10 books or something and you're just getting $5,000 a month. Wouldn't that take a lot of stress off your plate if you just got $5,000 consistently that you didn't have to do anything for? Because that's where a lot of the stresses come from. It's like I have to constantly be on. I have to constantly be doing content. I have to constantly be telling you about coaching. I have to constantly try and bring in the next person. Whereas having some passive income is like at least a little bit of a safety net. And more to the point, if you understand something called the value ladder, if somebody pays $5 for a book, they are then more likely, much more likely, to buy something else from you that costs more money. So then maybe they buy a $1,000 course from you, and then they get a ton of value from that course. That changes their life. And then they go, crap, man, if this changed my life, what if I was to spend, $10,000 or whatever it costs at the time that they sign up? What if I spent $10,000 on coaching with Andy? Because this $5 book already fucking helped a lot. This $1,000 course changed my life. God, what if I gave him $10,000? That would probably give me 10 or 100 times the value as I've already given him. So it's like, it's easier for someone to, it's called like the wallet barrier, I think. Once they've opened their wallet, they've overcome that hurdle, they've overcome that barrier of opening up their wallet, they've already given you money, they're much more likely to give you more money. Because another way of thinking about that is you've already given them value, you've already helped them, and so they're already on board. They already trust you. They're already like, okay, this guy does help me if I give him money. His products do help. Maybe I should sign up for that coaching. Maybe it's worth it. So I've noticed that myself. I already have one, but it's not really passive, but I already have one way that I do that right now, which is the $200 coaching calls that I offer. The 30-minute calls where we sit down, which often end up being like an hour and a half because whatever. I love you guys. I love sitting and talking with you. But those, $200 coaching calls, a hell of a lot more than you might think, get to the end of that call and I'm like, so, that obviously helped. Have you thought about being part of the coaching program? That's literally all I say. I don't push them. I don't have a marketing spiel. I'm just like, have you thought about being part of the coaching program? Like, I'm going to say 1 in 5, maybe 1 in 10 if I'm conservative. No, it's more like 1 in 5. We'll end up saying, holy crap, man, I really didn't think this $200 call was going to do much, but you've just like blown my goddamn mind. Fuck it, man. I'm on board. What do I need to do to be part of the coaching program? It's honestly like 1 in 5. It's blown my mind. So that already has shown me that if you just have like a lower price point and you can help people, and obviously $200 coaching calls are not sustainable for me. I don't want to be doing like 20 coaching calls a week for $200 each. So it's just, I'm trying to move away from coaching, but Cam can take over a lot of those. And more to the point, I can have like books and video courses and stuff like that. So you're still getting me. You're still getting the video course and the ebook and all of that. You're still getting the help that you want, but you go through that and then you're like, holy crap, that helped. Please take more of my money. So that's definitely something that as soon as Mark said that, I was like, yeah, I know. A lot of people have said that. It's not my top priority right now, but it is something that I'm absolutely going to be doing. And I know I say all the time, don't talk about what you're going to do. So, but yeah, it's definitely on the cards. I've already but I've already got notes and like I've fleshed out outlines for about 10 different courses. And obviously the answer is, dude, just execute on one of them. And so, yeah, even as I have this conversation and brainstorm with myself, thanks for listening, guys, by the way, I really appreciate you listening. As I brainstorm by myself right now, yeah, I could spend a couple of hours a week. Maybe I can set aside like 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, probably more than that, but 30 minutes a day, just slowly working on some of them. So I have a whole bunch of books and guides and ebooks and things I want to write that I've already fleshed out the outlines for. Maybe I'll start on that. Yeah, now that I say that, that'd actually be fun. I like writing that stuff. Anyway, so those are some of the things that I have learned. That is hopefully a valuable video for some of you. You know, I've said this a million times. I am absolutely not perfect. I have a lot of stress around money. I am not going to say that I'm the expert on business or any of that, but these are some of the things that I am in the process of learning. As you all know, I try and be as open and honest and authentic as I can with my content. I try and be as real with you all as I can. So this is what I'm currently going through. Hopefully this helped. Again, the website is aconsciousstate.com. The guy's name is Mark Goody. Absolutely legendary human being. I've literally only spoken to him for 2 hours now, and I already know that I'm going to be doing way more coaching sessions with him. Absolutely amazing human being. If you would like coaching with him, you can obviously just email him. But if you would like coaching with me, with yours truly, with Andy Pandy, with the pink beanie, I would absolutely love to help you. Like I said, I would love to help more people with business. As I said, I've done it with about 8 people so far. Probably the most impressive was Laz, who we talked about, where I took him from 20 grand a month to 45 grand a month. So that was a hell of a journey for him. And that was this video up here. So you can just search my channel for We Helped Him Double His Monthly Income. I'll leave a link in the description as well. So we talked about how we got him to 45K a month. Look at that handsome man. Isn't he such a handsome little man? And look, we both look the same. Look at these 2 beautiful bald men. Look at these 2 beautiful bald eggs. Absolutely legends. So yeah, if business is something that you would like some coaching on, we would love to help you. And hey, you get to write it off as a tax deduction. Or if you want some of the other concepts and content that we help with, such as getting your penis wet, having deep spiritual relations with women, with men, whoever it might be that you're into, relationships, love, personal fitness, health, mindset, depression, enlightenment, all of that good stuff. We would love to coach you. I will leave a link in the description to the coaching. You just fill out the form, jump on a call with myself. Soon you'll be jumping on a call with Cam instead of me. But for now, you get to jump on a call with me. We'll talk about if coaching is right for you, and we will sign you up. We have a ton of extra stuff in the program. Obviously, you get lifetime access to the Discord channel, so you get to see all of the other coaching members and talk to them for the rest of eternity until you or them pass on. You get all the ebooks and the video courses and all that good stuff. We're constantly adding to that. I just added like another 3 videos this week. So we're always adding more to that. Facebook group, 12 weeks of coaching, plenty of good stuff right there. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description to that. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush your goals. And I am very, very grateful to Mark and very, very grateful to every single one of you for listening and for being here.